Assalamualaikum and good morning to Encik Roslan bin Jaafar. So today I am Siti Najiha binti Kemudian as a first presenter to present the group presentation. So our group is choose the first question in which discuss challenge and prospect of the Islamic capital market in Malaysia. So I will explain first about the background of the ICM and so on. So what is Islamic capital market? Basically, ICM is the transaction of the financial that carry out with the Sharia concept, in which there is certain elements that you need to be follow the Sharia law, and it's very different to the conventional financial system. So, but ICM has similar role and function like conventional capital market, in which liquidity function, saving function, and more. But the differences is the implementation that need to compliance with the Sharia law. So ICM consists of some prohibited elements that need to be avoided in the Islamic financial system. First, there are 5 elements, in which prohibition of riba or interest, and then prohibition of gharar, in which mean uncertainty, prohibition of maisir, which is in gambling operation, prohibition of unethical practices like manipulation or cheating to the market players, and then prohibition of haram elements like pornography, pork, alcohol, and so on. So basically, there are 2 components of the ICM Islamic security market, in which Islamic debt market and Islamic equity market. Islamic debt market basically is a sukuk that people call as Islamic bond, in which the role is used as Islamic investment certificate that will entitle the holder to a proportionate share of ownership in the underlying asset. For Islamic equity market, is the stock traded in the market. So, but the stock need to compliance with the Sharia law. So, in order to know the stock if Sharia compliance or not, the screening process is used to ensure the stock in the market is fully follow the Sharia laws in terms of their activities and the financial. So there are some advantages of the Islamic financial system, in which first, they promote financial justice principle. Second, based on profit and risk sharing rather than conventional financial system, which is interest based orientation. And also Islamic capital market encouraging and accelerating economic development. Despite all the advantages of the Islamic financial, they are most likely to face some difficulty or challenge in the future, and the current challenge that need Islamic financial system need to overcome. So the challenge will be explained and discussed later.
Assalamualaikum. So I am Amy Nabila. I'm going to talk about the challenges that Islamic capital market may face in the area. So for the first challenge, there is an absence of a proper Sharia governance. For example, a lack of proper and effective Sharia governance can lead to further problems when there is issue that self-regulation of this industry that has been unpractical and unreliable. Okay, therefore these problems, which is a balance, these problems need a balanced and standardized Sharia regulation. This is for the Sharia regulatory authority from the Islamic financial institutions must hold full independence of any decisions. For these challenges, we are going to talk about 2 issues that need to be discussed. So the first one is Islamic banking products and the transactions. This is about the products, Islamic products, Islamic financial products that is inside the Islamic Capital Market. So for the first one, which is Islamic banking products, there are many leniency towards Islamic finance rules leads to confusion and suspicions about the legitimacy of the Islamic financial products. So these confusions about the products leads to different agreement on which products are actually Sharia compliant. Okay, for example, tawarruk product. Tawarruk is a product which has been introduced by Auditing and Accounting for Islamic Financial Institution, which is AAOIFI, which is a regulatory authority from within this industry. They introduced tawarruk, but however, Fiqh Academy, which is the largest representative of the contemporary Sharia scholar Islamic Financial Service Board, they actually said that tawarruk is unlawful, is one of the unlawful product to be put as Islamic financial products. So as we can see, the disagreements between these bodies actually give problems, to give confusions towards the people, which one the product is to be considered as Sharia compliant. Okay, for the second thing, which is the Sharia control and supervision, it is actually a logical thing that a legal requirement is needed in every institution to ensure they comply with Sharia laws. So however, these institutions tend to market themselves as complying with Sharia rules since they are self-regulated. So as we know, Sharia advisors in every Islamic banking, they are actually being selected and being paid by that same exact Islamic bank. So they tend to actually market themselves to produce a product that complies with Sharia rules, even though that maybe some of the aspects might not meet the aspect of a good Sharia compliance product. So these possibilities of manipulation and deviousness of the business model to apprehend the self-interest of their own institution. So in order to overcome this problem, we need to ensure a genuine independence of the Sharia control personnel, so that it would make Sharia control tally with the general standards of Sharia. And then we need also to break the bond of interest between bankers and Sharia scholars, because Sharia scholars, like I said, they might have the temptation of gains towards any changes they made in the financial regulation. So this is the first challenges that we can see. We're going to continue with our next presenters about the second challenge in ICM.
Next, the challenge that will be faced by the Islamic capital market in Malaysia is human capital issue. Highly committed and qualified human resources undoubtedly play an important role in any organization development and success. In this respect, the Islamic financial industry requires a specific set of skills. The shortage of talent in Islamic finance has a major impact as it influences the growth of Islamic finance in the industry. At the level of expert, there is a significant lack of qualified Sharia scholars with the necessary knowledge and expertise in Islamic finance. Islamic capital market in Malaysia also faces the challenge of standardization and harmonization. Given the nature of Islamic law that can be interpreted differently, Islamic finance is subject to different interpretations that lead to different practice and the use of concepts throughout the jurisdiction. This can hinder the growth and internationalization of Islamic finance, as some products may not be accepted in some jurisdictions but not in the others. So, the legal uncertainty and the degree of Sharia non-compliant risk may be mitigated. Furthermore, Malaysia also faced the challenge of public awareness. For example, research carried out by Bursa Malaysia in 2009 showed that the main challenge to the development of the Islamic stock market in Malaysia are the lack of awareness of potential investors. The review found that a little more than half of respondents believe that they are familiar with Islamic banking, while 64% of non-Muslim respondents cite lack of awareness as the key reason for not subscribing to Islamic financial service. The key factor in managing liquidity, price list, and credit allocation is the interest rate. Due to the no-riba in the Sharia law, the Islamic bank faces a greater risk of management than the conventional bank of similar size. This is because of the need to maintain a higher liquidity level, which has a negative effect on the competition. Due to the scarcity of Sharia liquidity instruments and infrastructure, liquidity risk can also be increased. Then the risk analysis and risk management tools are necessary to provide agents with tools to protect against the high volatility in the currency and commodity market. The prospect of the Islamic capital market in Malaysia is that Malaysia is considered the leader in Islamic finance, especially in Islamic banking and sukuk, with the most comprehensive infrastructure and regulation. Malaysia implements the dual banking system successfully, such as the Islamic and conventional banking system. The system complement each other in the country's economic development. Malaysia's creative leadership and commitment to developing and growing Islamic finance is convincingly demonstrated. Malaysia had the largest market share among various countries in all sectors of Islamic capital market. The key factor that uniquely supports Malaysia's Islamic financial pursuit was strong and unwavering political support from the country's top leaders for the industry. Malaysia has centralized the Sharia Advisory Council at the level of both Central Bank and Securities Commission to improve the coherence and consistency of Sharia decisions in the country. The advancement and innovative thinking of the Sharia Advisory Council has given Malaysia the advantage of having the only Islamic money market organized together with a highly active Islamic capital market. Close links between the Sharia Advisory Council and Bank Negara have enabled the progressive development of law, product, and Sharia guidelines to ensure that Islamic financial products are developed in the industry.
Good morning, Insila Slang. I'm Honami Watanabe. So I'm going to proceed on the prospect of the Islamic capital market in Malaysia. So prospect for the development of the Islamic capital market should contain the vast development of the Sharia compliance and also market integrations. So Islamic finance has a role to play, which is to shape the future of the global finance system and also reinforce the ethical and the moral value inherent in the principle of the Islamic finance, and also promote the stability of the global finance system. So, in the context of the Malaysia is considered it has a comprehensive Islamic finance landscape, since Malaysia is one of the pioneer country of Islamic finance. But there are still necessity to progress, especially in institutional infrastructure of the Islamic finance should be further enhanced to be effective and also competitive in the global market. So Malaysia is the Islamic country. However, not all the Muslims are convinced of the necessity of the Islamic finance. So based on this situation, the education of the Muslim consumer is the key issue in order to get the growth of the Islamic capital market. To achieve the success of the growth for the Islamic capital market, a political move is also needed to enhance the education. Muslim countries should encourage to Islamize their financial sector. So it can be applied in the Malaysian market as well. So next, since all the Muslims are concerned about the Haji, so Malaysia government should encourage the financial product associated with saving for Haji. So it could be more attractive for Muslim people compared to the Islamic banking or retail and other products. So some experts pointed out the global finance collapse has pushed the Islamic financial system to forefront. Actually, researchers discovered that Sharia screening leads to the lower risk. Because of this, it enabled lower exposure to subprime debt. For Malaysians, it might sound really comprehensive because the Malaysians have been faced the collapse of the government, especially the financial sector. Now, Malaysia is the Islamic financial hub, and then combined with the supportive regulatory and the legal framework with the record of market leadership. So they should take advantage of the strengths of the wide-ranging domestic infrastructures, active market making, and then product innovations, so that they can become the key residential center for growth of the Islamic capital market. So in Malaysia, in 2017, Islamic Finance Bank continued to grow faster than conventional bank. The growth of the Islamic finance is 10.3 against the conventional bank 1.7 only. So this strong growth momentum for the Islamic finance is expected to continue. And also, last year, Bank Negara Malaysia introduced the value-based intermediation. It's called VVI principles. This VVI aims to deliver the intended outcome of the Sharia through practice, conduct of offering that generate a positive and sustainable impact on the economy, community, and the environment. So this kind of innovative product from the Islamic capital market is the critical success factor and the growth engine, as a demonstration of the Malaysian experience, and they expected to gain the enormous momentum in the future. So I pass to the next person.
Hi everyone, as mentioned by my friend just now, despite all those challenges, our Islamic capital market is keep on growing from years to years. Thus, it is necessary for the industry, we're not the expert, but we try to give some suggestions where some of the key functions that can be improved to support such growth lah. So Alhamdulillah, we have a good governance and regulations for the system, despite other countries, Muslim countries are still arguing. But we believe that it is necessary for to have an authentic independence for Sharia control personnel that being assigned, so that it can put things into perspective and also complies with the Sharia general standard. For example, it's like Islamic banking. Each Islamic banking have their own Sharia boards. They assign the Sharia boards, and also they pay salary towards them. So there is a tendency of conflict of interest in there. So we believe that we need an external parties on the Sharia boards, or BNM can assign its own expertise Sharia boards to govern this Islamic capital market, as well as SE. So plus we can have a standardized regulations on this Islamic finance industry. Right. Another suggestion is we have established the systems is there, but we still need more qualified or more expertise, more Sharia talents in order for us to support the growth and also to be sustainable as a global leader. You see, this Islamic finance industry, you need the Sharia understanding, Sharia principle, and also understanding on the market. So we can, as Islamic finance player, these things must be achieved lah. And then, so we can do this by sending more of our potential talents to, for example, the origin where Islam came from, which is Arab's country, to learn about the Sharia principles, and so send them to train or study about on the market, even the conventional capital market, plus also can learn on the existing Islamic capital market. So by doing so, we can increase our expertise in the nations lah. And then another suggestions is that we are still lacking in terms of public awareness. Even though we are the majority consists of Muslim, but many of those Muslim doesn't even know about the existing of our Islamic capital market. So it is important for the government, not just the government, but also Islamic financial institutions to do the market things. You mean it's like a business entity that have a product, a really good product, but if you don't market that product, you will not gain any profit. So similarly, these Islamic financial institutions need to outreach to its people to let them know the existing of this capital market and to make use of it. So it can also fit the maslahah of the people lah, to make everyone live prosperous with this Islamic capital product. So in conclusion, we think that the Islamic capital market in Malaysia has a bright future due to these emerging demands as I mentioned earlier. So we think not just the government, we also needs the Islamic financial institutions to support this growth. So that's why we believe we need a greater innovation and collaboration amongst them to serve this growing market. And by doing so, this Islamic capital market can achieve much more higher level, and we can be a role model to other Muslim nations. So that's all from us. We hope you enjoy our video. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.